You stupid fools. You clapping seals. You drones. It doesn't take much to please you, does it? A few days ago, we were under the understanding that a new How to Train Your Dragon live action remake was going to be occurring, and everyone seemed to be against it. Everyone seemed to have finally moved on from live action remakes. But then the trailer happened, and this happened. This is how the entire internet reacted. It's the thing! It's the thing! It's the thing that I recognize from a previous movie. Oh, I'm so happy. This just looks so amazing. Oh my goodness. It's a poster. It's a poster with Hiccup touching Toothless. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. Look at Toothless. Look at how amazing he actually looks. It's just amazing. I'm so excited. It's the same shot! It's literally the same shot from the first movie. It is the exact same shot, just done worse. Oh, Toothless just looks so good. He just looks so amazing in live action. It's a CGI dragon! In both of them! These are both CGI dragons! They're both cartoon dragons. Oh, no, this is the live action remake. No, it's a cartoon design from the first one, and it's a cartoon design here. They're both CGI. Wow, they did a great job. They just copied the same design. Oh, but his eyes are a little bit smaller, and there's a little bit more texture. It's a cartoon dragon. It's not live action. It's the same thing. Think. That poster might as well just be a fan poster for the original. It's the same design. It's the exact same thing. Just the new one has darker lighting and looks kind of cruddy. Just like all live action remakes. What's wrong with you? I thought that we as a species has finally understood that live action movies are the bane of all storytelling's existence. Well, I don't understand. It just doesn't take much, does it? It just doesn't take much to please people. Why are you excited for this movie? This is the exact same shot as before. It's the exact same dragon design, basically. It's already been done in a movie before better. Why are you so excited in seeing it? Just because somebody told you it was live action? Is it because Hiccup is being played by a man instead of in real life instead of a voice actor? That makes it better. That makes it more enticing. That makes it more creative. That makes it more interesting. Does it do any of those things? I need to deprogram people here. Like, what about this is exciting? It's the thing. It's a thing that I recognized from before. I saw the movie before, and this is like it. It's the same thing.
I clapped when I saw it.
What is wrong? What is wrong with you? You are literally clapping seals. You are literally clapping seals. You are entertained by key jangling. A Hollywood executive is dangling keys in front of your face, and you're just enjoying it. You're just loving it. No wonder creativity is dead. Hollywood executives know that you are foolish enough that if they just plop slop in front of your face, as long as you recognize it, as long as it's something that you recognize, like if you find movies of a good movie that was released 10 years ago or more, that back when Hollywood actually allowed good movies to be made over slop remakes, then you'll go see it. Easier to just milk the past and the adults who will just eat it up like dog food, like dogs to dog food, rather than make anything new. Why would Hollywood make anything new? Why would they be creative if you just accept this?
It broke new ground!
You know, the next generation, I was thinking about the next generation of kids. When I was growing up in the 2000s, we were eating good from all of the films made in the Disney Renaissance, films that they are still milking to this day because of how good they are. And I'm thinking, how many kids have anything new? Films that have come out from the past decade that they are really enjoying and growing up with. These Disney, or these isn't even Disney, these live action animated remakes, they're not for kids. They're not appealing to kids. They're not going to be rewatched on repeat by kids who would probably just enjoy the originals more. They're enjoyed by adults. Adults who grew up with far better movies, and now they simply see something that they recognize, and it's like, oh, that's the thing that I recognize, and I can take my kids to that. Not worry, but you're not giving people anything really creative, anything really good, anything that's really, I don't know, nurturing, edifying. It's just worse done versions of the originals. And here's why they really exist. And there was one tweet about it, and it nailed it. The entire reason why How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake, exists, as this tweet mentions, is because they want to advertise the new theme park attraction with it. And that's the entire reason why these live action remakes have existed since the beginning, is that they're, and as this tweet puts, reposts of the original. They're there to remind you of the original, there to remind you of the work that was actually good, that actually had elements worthy of praise, and put them back in the zeitgeist again. That's all they do. That they're just meant to remind you of the original, because the originals were so good that they're timeless. But you need a little bit of a boost to make more hype around it, to sell more merchandise and all this stuff. But how have you damaged things in the long run? Like, you're not raising up a new... We keep talking about how Hollywood, the industry, is dying. You're not raising up a new generation of kids who are going to want to see these movies. Like, for your live action remakes that are just milking these IPs, what happens when the next... Once again, these are being paid for. All the tickets are being bought by the adults who used to grow up with those good movies. But what about the next generations? Like, what movies are coming out recently that are going to give those nostalgia feelings and all that stuff, if that is your strategy going forward, to just milk IPs? You're not building up new generations of people who have movies that they're really going to connect with, because these movies are soulless. All the movies people love are from the era prior to this, because all of this is just slop. I guess the best people have is Marvel from 5 years ago. Are we going to do a remakes of Marvel? We definitely will. We definitely will. This is, I think, some of the, if not the worst stuff out of Hollywood. This is what's killing them. They cannot create original things. Or even How to Train Your Dragon was based off of a book, but it was a new adaptation of it. These aren't even interesting adaptations. These are just worse redos, because they know that people are drones who will accept the bare minimum. And the same thing happens every time with audiences. They see the movie, Lion King made $1 billion, because, oh, it's the thing that I remember from when I was a kid. And then they wake up the next day and go, oh, that was terrible. Lion King does not have any fans, doesn't have any defenders. Certainly people have made a pretty penny off of criticizing it, but the same thing happens over and over again. How to Train Your Dragon will come out, probably make a lot of money. People will wake up the next day and realize it was the worst thing ever, but they'll go in on those drones on the next live action remake. You know, the only live action remake that was good wasn't really a remake. It was the Cinderella movie from 2015, because even though it was advertised as a remake, and it's probably why it made so much money, honestly, they kind of did their own thing with the adaptation. I watched it recently, and it's the only one of these remakes I thought was worth revisiting, because even though it's not perfect, it does its own thing. Like, that's what's actually good about movies, you know, movies that have a creative spark, movies that have thought behind it for their own adaptations. And I mean, this Cinderella is a story that's been told over and over billions of times, but everyone brings their own take to it. These don't have their own takes. These are not allowing the filmmakers to be creative. They're just the blandest, driest, corporate produced things possible, where nobody seems inspired by them, because these are just slop to throw out into the ether. And I guess when the live action remakes, when they've milked all of those dry from the animated movies, they'll just start making prequels and sequels to the live action remakes, like Mufasa. Are people gonna pay for that slop too? Why? Why are you excited for How to Train Your Dragon live action remake? Was there something wrong with the first movie? Was there something that needed to be improved upon? Is there something that live action will improve upon it or bring to the table? Because when live action remakes started, I thought that they were going to be creative. Yeah, silly me for thinking that. I thought that, like, maybe Beauty and the Beast, because the question is, like, what would you do with this story if it was live action? Beauty and the Beast Disney version had lots of fun cartoon appliances that came to life. Like, would you make it creepier in the new version because it's live action? What would your approach be to doing a live action thing rather than a cartoon? That was the entire point, that different mediums should bring a different approach. And that's what made it interesting for me. But then, no, I misunderstood. That's not the point of these live action remakes. It's just to evoke the thing that you remember before, the cartoon that you remember before. That's like why Toothless looks exactly the same, and so that brain dead adults will go pay for it, and just a one-time thing. It's a short-term profit that these companies keep using over and over again, and it's so sad because it's not bringing in new people who actually love these stories. They should just watch the originals. It's just bringing in a short-term profit that it's not going to bring about a generation, future generations who love movies. And this is part of the reason why, in terms of long-term growth, the industry is dying. And people are supporting that, I guess. I'm just so sad about the state of the industry and how it keeps going in this direction, and I don't know what to do to change it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you, patrons. Goodbye.